So that alliance has emerged. So they brought down the Soviet Union. Why? So that Ukraine might emerge as an independent state. That's danger for Russia. They've prepared the way. And now Ukraine emerges as an independent state. So the rope is around Russia's neck now. And from that day, when the Soviet Union collapsed, until yesterday, the relationship between Russia and Ukraine was always problematic. But the people of Ukraine still had the good sense and wisdom to appoint a government that was pro-Russian. The Zionists decided it's time for us to use our, the street demonstrations. And last October, November, December, the world witnessed Caracas all over again. And eventually, the Zionists got what they wanted. And the president of Ukraine fled. He's a democratically elected according to your method, Mr. Obama, according to your system. He's a legally elected president of Ukraine. And he had to flee. And these hypocrites in Washington and London and Paris, who would like us to believe that they are honorable men, they are not. Instead of standing on the side of the legally appointed president and demanding the rule of law, they all showed their colors as hypocrites in immediately recognizing the new government in Ukraine. The new government in Ukraine is anti-Russian. That's what they wanted. That's why they brought down the Soviet Union, to bring in a Ukraine into being as an independent state, and then to eventually get an anti-Russian government in Ukraine. If, by Allah's kindness, Putin had not intervened and been so spectacularly successful, this is what the plan would have been. The new government in Ukraine would have joined NATO, and Russia could not stop it. And when the new government in Ukraine joined NATO, NATO will then send its armed forces into Ukraine. It could include nuclear weapons. Then Ukraine will pick a fight with Russia and decide that Russia must now vacate Crimea. Shut down your naval base. The rope is now tightened around your neck. Russia has to put its tail between its legs and withdraw its fleet, Black Sea Fleet, from Crimea. Russia is no longer a naval power. Crick-crack, you finish. And Israel will celebrate. That was the master plan. But Allah planned, and Allah's plan was successful. And it is time for the Muslim world to recognize and to see, I cannot influence governments, so what can I do? Don't bother, you waste your time with governments. But the people can understand that this was Allah's plan. They planned, the enemy planned for so long. And at the last moment, Allah intervened. And Putin was able to get the people of Crimea to vote in a referendum. And they voted 90-something% in favor of returning to Russia. They were a part of Russia. And they want to return to Russia. So Putin was successful in delivering to the Zionist movement the first defeat it has ever suffered, significant defeat, in the more than 100 years since the Zionist movement was established. If that is not a sign from Allah, it's time for you to wake up.